we just go about sharing this stream around. Get some publicity around it. Because we're back for GTWC. I feel like it's not been that long. Just checking something actually. Alright, here we are, back on circuit, GTWC, GT3 and GT4 cars, and GT7 of course. So I'll grab this stream code now that it's up here, make sure that everything's coming through nice and clear, nice and loud. And good evening, Aussie Sim Racing. Hope you guys are kicking on alright over in Div 2. Hope there's not too many delays going on. I'm keeping an eye, obviously, on what's going on there in regards to the Discord, so I should be able to see, obviously, if you guys need anything in regards to room hosts or someone making a call, anything like that. I'm always around, so keep me in the loop. Thanks for dropping in as well. Keep an eye on this one, obviously, see how XL goes, which I believe is your recruit. Tank heading on through second sector of Fuji. Very difficult one, very technical, line driven as well. Tank in particular running the older model Porsche, actually something we're not too used to seeing on track. So quite cool to have that out. And behind him, Oz XL, who's made a late addition to the field. I believe this is his debut in the series, so great to have him in. Something we've heard quite a bit about Oz XL, just in his escapades over in other leagues. Adrenaline GT, I believe, being his main league that he's gone around in. I believe he's Div 1, sometimes Div 2, potentially. So looking forward to see what he can do in this field, of course. This is the Monday night series for us, so potentially not our strongest fields. But certainly a lot of guys out here wanting to get on board with the imitation game style. If you're new to this, if you're new to imitation games, of course, this is a imitation of the weekend's racing just gone. So for those who are paying attention, we actually had the Super Tekyu, and I don't actually know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Japanese series had their Fuji 24-hour series race over the weekend. And so everyone hopping on in and imitating that. I wish we had actually a XL there bowling a wide at turn 1, and that's quite deep in there. We'll have to abort that quali lap. Back on track though, a couple times coming in. I'm still gonna shout it out. Tank on top for the moment, 38.3, and only just on pole right now in the GT3s. I believe GT4's just setting their lap times at the moment. We'll see who's on top for GT4. Bob starting us off with that with a 49.2. I think that time will drop. CP Water Arrow bettering that with a 48.2, and Brit's going faster with a 47.8. So a few times coming in straight away for GT4 to show that these guys are going to be on the ball tonight and giving us some fast numbers indeed. GT4, always a great category to be watching. We've had some awesome finishes in GT4 this series, and this season in particular. I believe it was a last lap pass for the win for Wiz last time out at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, the 24-hour layout. And Wiz, our current GT4 points leader. And a reminder too, GT4 is actually only applicable to Div 2 and below seated drivers. So any of these aliens, speaking of aliens, any of the aliens aren't available to be running in the GT4. They must stick to GT3, something that we may be tweaking for next year, potentially bringing a GT4 only series to the fold for the Monday night stuff. So we'll have a look at that and see where the interest is. But yeah, speaking of aliens, Sharky, Jaguar to the top. I feel like we say that just about every week we watch this man on circuit, but it's 38.1, the benchmark at the moment. That's quite a tall order for the man in the British-bred GT3 car here. Of course, fictional, built up by Gran Turismo and Polyphony Digital. as DJ there goes faster with a 38.4 to close that gap into Tank. And I saw a penalty in the background there for one of the GT4s. I believe it was Tolly just coming onto the straight, and that'll hurt 2 laps actually for him. So that's a bit of a shame, especially with 6 minutes elapsed now in this qualifying session. He's going to have to try and scrub that one off and get himself on board. As we turn our eyes to sharing a couple of these stream links. Bob going fast there with a 48.1. Feckles follows suit with a 48.9. Water Arrow down to a 47.8. Was that enough to eclipse Brits? It was not, but less than half a tenth now between Brits and Water Arrow. McLaren versus Genesis, and I'm not sure what planet you'd have to be on to see these 2 cars competing typically, but apparently Planet GT4 is the answer, because those 2 cars going at it here, very, very close between these 2 men here, and hopefully that's setting us up for a great battle for this race. Sharky here coming across the line, not going to go quicker with that one. I think he's just setting himself up here for lap 4. Another push. And of course, doesn't really matter that he's away from the pack. There is no benefit to slipstream in these categories, of course. Slipstream during qualifying turned off, so you get no benefit whatsoever from sitting in behind another car and grabbing tow. Wiz goes fast there. XL jumps up into P3, so the debutant up into P3. Second row of the grid. Velvos goes faster as well. And Velvos there remaining in P6 for the moment. Banana Cake Pie improves, goes up to P8 in the Honda NSX, I believe it is. There it is on the main straight. And a car that we've actually only seen once before in this series, run by the Matt Donetti, who unfortunately couldn't join us tonight. I think he's got some sort of stomach bug plaguing him, so wishing him well, hoping he can feel better soon. We'll see him back on track shortly. And Banana there not able to replicate last lap going into Sector 1 here, so a tenth and a half down, coming onto his 4th push lap, 5th lap of the session. Only 2.5 minutes remaining, so there'll be another lap after this one, and I believe that will be all these guys will have time for. Panning again to Distinct Sharky, 3rd sector for him at the moment, as Bob once again going quicker. These Div GT4 guys finding time. That's quite the gap there between 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Brit's not able to improve there his qualifying lap. Wiz goes to the top, so Wiz 3/10 out of nowhere. So the Porsche man, he's been Porsche most of the season. We're on round 5 now. I think it's 4 out of the 5 rounds he's been in the Cayman GT4. Finds himself at the top, and that's a gap we didn't expect to see. Sharky there extending his margin at the top. I don't think he's extended that by much at all. That's only 200ths quicker he's gone there in the Jaguar. So Sharky just stretching clear of the field. Tank is closest competitor there, over 2.5 tenths now, and he's only 1,000th ahead of XL. And interesting battle there actually. Tank in the older spec RSR Porsche, which was the Le Mans bred GTE style car, and XL in the newer GT3 style car. He's actually just pulled over to let Velvos go, and I believe that will be his qualifying over as well. No time to get another one after this, so to be eyes on Velvos to see what he can do, and of course Tank if he's able to eclipse that margin. James Shelley Robbins goes quicker there up into P8, so he jumps Banana Cake Pie. And those two usually have a bit of a tug-of-war for times, which is funny and quite interesting to keep an eye on, actually. It's quite difficult to separate those guys at times. Snorksel, on occasion, manages to just, especially with the weather, actually. Snorksel's a bit of a weather guy. We get some rain come in, and he tends to manage that quite well, especially that jump between the dry and the wet and back again. I find that Snorksel probably one of the best guys on the grid at really feeling what's underneath him, gauging that weather change in particular. Only 20 seconds to go now. Tolly goes faster there in GT4. Water Arrow as well going faster. Water Arrow up into P2. And I believe we'd see Bob actually has pulled off in the 3rd sector. So Bob's called it quits for this session. Tolly and Feckles rounding out the GT4 field for the minute. Wiz has managed to get through for another lap. 5 seconds to go. About to see the checkered flag. Sharky there has made it through for another lap. So Sharky, last one to complete a lap. That should be all the GT4 cars now coming through. And we'll just keep an eye, see what's going to go. That's right, Wiz did make it through. Oh, with GT3s coming through, I beg your pardon. So Sharky make it through. Tank goes to the top. So Tank in the RSR grabs one on Sharky. Didn't expect to see that one. XL, of course, with a compromised lap time after pulling over for Velvos at the start of that lap. DJ here threading it through the 3rd sector. Has he got anything for the top couple of positions. Banana Cake Pie goes quicker. He's not able to get by Snorksel, so it'll be P9 overall there for Banana Cake Pie. Snorksel goes quicker on his final lap, so he bridges that gap back to Verks. Don't think we're going to see an improvement from DJ Master. He's already passed on the clock. Scozzy's got a penalty. Velvos didn't get another lap in. Verks actually as well. So that's pole there. Potentially. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I did make a point of it. Sharky on a lap, but he's going to catch traffic here, and this is going to be awkward. Let's see if we can just go on board with the nose camera here. So Sharky, third sector. What's he going to be able to do to thread it through? He's got Wiz here, which fortunately is not going to grab dirty air off these guys. So that might be a saving grace here for Sharky, because all he needs is 15 thousandths to grab pole back off Tank. And this is going to be oh so close here. Coming down the main straight, no toe here. Sharky's just got to pull out, just got to time it right. On board here in the cockpit, Tolly goes faster, Water Arrow goes faster. We'll have to check what that means for GT4 in a second. Sharky across the line, doesn't get there. And what it means is that Tank is your pole sitter for GT3 and gets one over Sharky. So the old RSR goes to the top. And a great pole position there for Adam Elzane. And checking out GT4, it's Water Arrow there on his final lap of the session in the McLaren. Grabs pole position. CP Water Arrow, a great pole there for Riley Nicholson. Gets one over Ian Cannon, Wiz 94, your current championship leader. And Water Arrow, I'm sure, will be grabbing onto that pole with both hands and saying, thank you very much. It's about time I get one back over Wiz. And that is qualifying run and done. Big congratulations there to Tank, Adam Elzine, and CP Water Arrow, Riley Nicholson. Pole position, both of those gentlemen there. And quite close there at the top of Div. I keep saying Div. Quite close to the top of GT3. 15 thousandths in it there. That is awesomely close. Just going to go mic muted for a second. Keep the results on the right-hand side there. And post that before Snorksel did, because I can see you posting that, Snorksel. I assume you're listening. I'm not looking at the stream comments at the moment. And I won't go mic mute actually, because I'm not going to need to. I'll give everyone that few minutes to sort themselves out. Oh, good session. Very good session there. Tank, didn't expect him to get that out in a 2017 model car. Just saw that reaction. Thank you, Snogsel. I could see that you were going to do that for me. I appreciate it. I'll check the comments in a second. I assume you're just going to do your typical drive and type nonsense stuff. So, okay, so waiting on Tank and Wiz. Tank Wiz Velvos now. Now just Tank and Velvos. Might as well grab results while I'm in here too, actually. Do some multitasking. A lot of cars in the 38s. 7 cars. That's pretty good, actually. And just about the whole of the GT4 field within a second as well. Actually, only 1 car outside, and it's Feckles of all people as well, which I probably didn't expect. I'm sure he'll pull me up after this. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't expect it? Okay, cool. Got comments up. Hello, Lemon. Cheering on DJ. Very good. Hello, Snorksel. Hello, DJ. That sucks in the penalty, mate. I was wondering actually what had happened there. So, it's a bit unorthodox. So, Tank's back. Thank you, Tank. Check on the side of grid for these guys. Awesome. I love that because that's just odds left, even right. Man, that is... I love it when that happens. I love it. Especially when we've got enough cars like that. Oh, Riley, you subbed, mate. Thank you. Well done, Pole. Very well done. It's tough in this field. GT4s are just so volatile with the bop that... Like, you go to a different track and it's so different. So different. I just need to check if Velvos is back now, I think. Jag! Yeah, that's a slept-on car, honestly. It's got a lot of pick up and go, but from memory it dies in the top end, I think. I'm trying to remember exactly what its characteristics are. I haven't driven it in a long time. I remember not hating it. Maybe I'm wrong. I honestly don't remember. But alright, Velvos is back. Remind everyone, 80 kph after final corner. And double file. Race starts at Advan Bridge / penalty line. Cool. Yeah, that's what I remembered. Yeah, honestly, it was top end. It's not that good. Definitely a lot of pick up and go, kind of similar to the Mustang. It steps out of corners quite well. Super cambered corners. Oh, okay. It's a bit of an odd one. Maybe the setup's a bit weird on it, so. God, I hope we get some rain this race. This would be great. I'd love to call a rain race. I think that'd be heaps of fun. I'm sure a lot of you are just sitting there going, no, that'd be horrible. I don't want to deal with rain, but I'm the commentator. I want to see rain. Let's kick it off. I got no reason not to. Let's kick it off. Of course, formation lap coming up for this field. One of our niches here compared to a lot of other leagues is that we do this formation lap, which is very, very odd and unorthodox on Gran Turismo of all games. Oh, those would be horrible. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I suppose that'd be on exit. It might even just reach bump stop and just stop turning, potentially. As we see here, yep, everyone just goes for a hard launch there, but it is off for a formation lap, so they're all probably going to be trimmed down on the engine settings. Tank will lead us away here for a formation lap. This looks great already. I love how this looks. This stuff is super cool. All these GT3 cars weaving around, finding track position off the start. This is the sort of thing you don't get this on GT7. It's a great feeling. The drivers... The jury's probably out on formation laps. There are some guys that love it. There are some guys who aren't the biggest fans, but I think this is cool. I think these are really, really cool moments for these guys. Tank here leading. I don't remember the last time Tank led a formation lap. It's not been too long. I think potentially only a month and a little bit in maybe WEC. He would have had a LMP or hypercar pole. Maybe Abu Dhabi, I'm thinking, which is a little bit longer ago than I'm remembering. It is June after all. And time is flying. But yeah, formation laps are cool. I like the vibe. they're nice in ACC for those that play that. ACC's quite good with them. It replicates them quite well. But they're very spoon-fed. It kind of tells you what to do. Warm your tyres as you have to. You get given all the readouts and everything. It's right there for you. These are very manual. Everything is unassisted. You're just kind of doing the formation. That was very similar to how it would be in real life. It's not like you've got, you know, a stay within this length to this car. Like, those are regs, yes, but it's not a pop-up on your screens, no heads up for it. So that's the benefit that we've got here in GT with these guys, and they're all getting very close to each other. Tank here flat out in 5th gear, so trim down on fuel for sure, trying to save precious litres and give himself some strategy flexible in the race. Surely Sharky probably doing the same. XL right up these guys. Clacker ideally doing the same thing. DJ, Scozzy, Velvos, Verks, Snorksel, Banana Cake Pie. Our top 9, our 9 GT3 cars in the field. That's a better field than you'd sometimes get in some Australian racing categories. It'll be Water Arrow that leads the field in GT4. He'll have Wiz alongside him on the front row in that white and green Porsche. As these guys here head onto the main straight. It's a short run up until we go racing. Hopefully we get a good view here of all the cars side by side, double file under the Advan Bridge, and we are racing in GT3. Tank and Sharky lead us off, and Sharky straight into the toe of Tank. That's a very smart move actually early on, because it is a long run into turn 1. You've got to be tactical about it. Tank goes defensive, Sharky goes very aggressive. They're bumping into the braking zone for turn 1, and Sharky down the inside. Tank's trying to make a fight out of it, but he's going to have to concede that one on the exit. Sharky into the lead over pole sitter Tank. XL holds P3, Scozzy P4, Verks P5. Tank pokes the nose there into turn 2. Nothing going there as GT4 here down the main straight. Water Arrow still. Wiz has gone to the back, so not sure what's happened to Wiz, but he's gone nowhere off the start because it's Water Arrow by a mile there. And Brits Lightning picking up the pieces up into P2. So GT4 there off to a little bit of a shaky start as your second place man Wiz all the way back in last now for GT4, trying to go around the outside of Feckles, mind you. That was a brave move for the opening lap, and Feckles not wanting it to happen that early. So GT4's here going to have to find a bit of rhythm, find their places. Wiz is kicking up the dirt there on the inside and trying to waste no time getting the moves done. Not able to do it there at the left handle. Flick to GT3 once again as they're finding their way through Sector 3 at the moment. In a very difficult sector. There's a little bit going on there in the background. Velvos! Oh, huge moment there on the curb into the side of Snorksel. That's a massive moment there between Velvos and Snorksel. Snorksel's copped it, the innocent bystander there, and he's been able to rejoin. But at the back of the field, unfortunately for him. So that was quite the big moment, and Snorksel potentially lagging some there as well. And hopefully that's not on my end. We might just grab a replay of what transpired there. All these guys were battling in a bit of a pack, and they all got into it actually with Banana Cake Pie and Velvos. I think he's just dropped it on the curb, and Snorksel, super unfortunate there for him. And these guys will live to fight another day. But that's massively unfortunate there for Snorksel. Just caught up in someone else's accident. And very, very unorthodox there for Velvos. You don't usually see that kind of accident there for him, let alone in the Ferrari, which, mind you, we haven't seen him run yet this season. But a car that I'm sure... Oh, actually, I beg your pardon. It's a new livery. We've definitely seen him run this car before. I'm surely seen the Defy... I'm going to get shot for this again, but I've forgotten whether it's Defy Esports or Defy Motorsports. But I know where to look to find out. It is Defy Motorsports, so all you Defy guys can back off for a second. But I am used to seeing the Defy Motorsports livery on that Ferrari, so he hasn't ran it. He is familiar with it, but yeah, just being caught out there in the treacherous Sector 3. And to the back he goes. So Banana Cake Pie there ahead of those two guys in the NSX. You can just see Snorksel there recovering at the back. That's made a bit of a long night for him, so that's a bit of a shame. And these guys none the wiser actually that anything's gone on. So Sharky holding quite the advantage now over Tank. He's built 7/10 into the margin as we flick there to Tank just in behind him with a little bit of a wiggle on power. And he's got quite the task at reeling in. It looks like we're going to have the refueling glitch for this race as well, which is a bit of a pain. And Sharky there pulling over, just trying to break a little bit of the toe. And building gap as well on top end over Tank. That's not what I expected. That's quite close between them, but I certainly thought, as we're seeing a move here in the background, OzXL poking the nose on Scozzy, and that's a Porsche on Porsche move there. So XL moving up into P3. Oh, and Scozzy goes around. Oh, out of nowhere, he's off in the grass and manages to avoid the wall there, but Scozzy, I'm not sure how that happened. It just looked like he was filtering in behind, had the move on XL put on him, and then just fed off into the grass there on exit of 1. So we'll have a check of the replay there. I'm not sure who would have the best view of that one. It might be Verks, it might actually be DJ Master. No damage on either of those cars. We'll just catch a replay here, see what we can catch into the braking zone. Onto the nose here of DJ. XL in the inside of Scozzy. All looks quite orthodox here. Scozzy rejoining. Oh, there's a touch. Oh, there is a touch from DJ. Oh, no. That is not what DJ Master's going to want to see on the replay. And it's certainly not what Scozzy would have wanted to feel in the rear end either. So DJ Master there, whether that was a touch of lag or not, but caught up in an instant quite early on in this one. And that's a little bit of a black mark hanging over him now. So Scozzy, I think there's going to be a bit of begging and pleading there from DJ. As OzXL there running wide in Sector 3. So there's a mistake there from the third place man, and that invites Verks down the inside of the final corner, and that's an aggressive throw there, because it's a bit of diminishing returns there when you make a move at the final corner, because realistically, watch this gap here, just under 4/10 Verks to XL. It might grow to 4, but it's gonna start shrinking again. So XL right into the toe of Verks, identified Verks defending the position. XL almost entirely, he's made it work actually. XL round the outside. Not sure if he's kept it on track there, but DJ wants a bar of the action now as well, trying to get a view of the purple car in the background here. Verks, XL, DJ, they're on top of each other here, coming through Sector 2. DJ dives to the inside, and somehow, oh, they all keep out of each other. That was a very aggressive move there from DJ, trying not to get caught up with the racing here, knowing he's probably a little bit quicker at this stage of the race. XL here, going for the inside move down into the chicane on Verks, grabs third position back under the brakes, and that leaves DJ here still wandering around in P5 and trying to get something done here on Verks, but it's always so difficult when you're all in the same car. There's no one spot where you can really lean on the advantage that your car gives you, because there is none. It's all the same hardware. So these guys locked into a bit of combat here, and I think that'll continue for a little bit longer. We'll check in with GT4 just quickly, as Water Arrow and Brits still locked at the hip at the moment. Water Arrow leading Brits through Sector 2, heading down into the chicane, which does trigger Sector 3. A little bit of a gap to Tolly, who has made his way past a couple of these guys. That's the Citroen there, you can see, just center a shot. And we'll look at RPM Bob Massey here ahead of Wiz. So Wiz has made his way past Feckles. Feckles must have made a mistake somewhere actually. So those times, 56 and a 57 on laps 2 and 3, that's not too attractive there from Feckles. And he'll be, lacking a little bit of pace in the Supra at the back there. So Feckles with a long run. We'll have to have a check of fuel a little bit later on, see if there's any sort of games that Feckles can be playing to factor himself back in. But we'll have a look back to the front of the field. Overall leader at the moment, Distinct Sharky, and that's a gap that he's been able to extend now past slipstream range. So Distinct Sharky, 1.2 to the good, 1.3 to the good over Tank, going faster and faster. So we will start checking out some tyre and fuel options at the moment, see what these guys are doing. Not too much you can see on fuel, but tyres will be a bit of a giveaway. So Sharky leading at the moment, racing mediums underneath the Jag, and he's getting some good life out of those right now. Tank's followed him in regards to strategy. So mediums underneath that older spec Porsche, of course, the GTE machinery that he's running, and he is just running a little bit wide over the curbing there. XL still in P3, nearly 6 seconds back now from the top two, and that's mostly thanks to the battling that he's had to put up with Verks and DJ up behind him, not after a mistake actually last lap. We might see if we can just grab some footage on that mistake. Actually headed into these turns. I'm not going to have the best view here. Actually, roof cam might be good. And he's just got a little bit deep. That's all it took there. And that invites Verks and DJ to the party. So that's those guys in the fight. And they're going to be nose to tail here for a little bit. DJ Master is who I'm looking at there. I wanted to be just paying a little bit of attention to XL. He set a fastest lap on lap 3. He's in the mediums. Verk's in behind, also in the mediums. DJ on the mediums, so it's even playing board at the moment, 1st to 5th. Velvos P6 caught up in that incident quite early on with Snorksel, who's setting some good pace in the Ferrari. So the Rover Oils Ferrari, Defy Motorsports on the back of it. And he is, setting very handy lap times at the moment. Within a second of the fastest lap from Tank on lap 5 and punching in the high 40s at the moment. He's probably got some more pace in that, and he's not too far off grabbing the toe off DJ. So keep an eye now on Velvos. He'll be wanting to make amends for that mistake a little bit earlier on. As we chuck on to Scozzy here, also on the mediums. I think mediums were the common choice here for most of these guys. Banana Cake Pie, same goes for him. And he's lacking a little bit of pace compared to those guys ahead of him. So the 83 NSX, a little bit to find there. 2 seconds behind Scozzy. And he's got a 8-second gap built over Snorksel, who of course unfortunately got caught up in that incident very early on with Velvos. And he's in the mediums as well. So your entire GT3 field's all on the mediums. Which makes it very easy to track, actually. And then we head to GT4. This will be the interesting one, because usually these guys tend to try and throw a curveball. There's usually a few hard runners for the start of GT4. So Water Arrow and Brits, I assume Brits is also on the mediums here. He is. These guys are just going to run with each other for a little while. And that's going to work out for them. They've got 4 seconds on Tolly, who's also on the mediums. And that's probably just due to him starting so far back. Going to be harder to make up the time compared to, obviously, the clear air of starting in the top 2. Bob and Wiz, however, they're our curveballs. So hard tyres for AMG and Porsche. So the German duo there getting it done. Wiz there looking for a move down the inside, actually. So Wiz into the chicane. Bob doesn't want to let him have it, though. So Bob hangs it round the outside and pretty much saying to Wiz there, you're going to have to throw it down a little bit harder than that if you're to grab a move on me. So these two still duking towards the back of the GT4 field. Feckles at the back as well. Fortunately, he is also on the hard tyre. So that's not going to cost him all that much time, given he's, I'm about to say, a minute 33 off the lead. That's a minute 33 off the GT3 lead. So he's probably more like potentially 20 to 30 seconds off the top of GT4. So that's quite a loss still for him, but not undoable. But what's interesting now for Feckles is he's going to be the first one to have the GT3 field descend upon him. And there is a good time for this. There's a bad time as well, but you can get lucky and have them catch you on the straight. So right where we are now, Sharky on to the main straight, pit straight, start, finish straight. This is where you want to be catching GT4 cars. So we'll just keep an eye on these guys. You can see Feckles there in the background as Sharky starts lap 9 now, and we're about to get the first laps put on GT4, so we'll just kind of stick with Sharky for a little bit, see how this goes with the lapping, because it's always been a bit of a questionable exercise, especially in Rooz, just getting these moves done. We want to go from the roof cam there of Sharky. That didn't do what I wanted to do. Well, Sharky navigates Feckles. That one was pretty easy out of turn 2. A little bit more awkward here for Tank. And it's going to be round the outside in the bowl, sector 2. He's forced offline to do it, so that's never ideal for him. You've got to make sure you navigate those GT4 cars safely. They have priority, and the next driver to do so will be XL. This will be cool. He's someone we haven't seen yet in multi-class racing, so not sure what he's going to do, not sure what the plan is for him navigating traffic. I'll just go to our TV cameras for a little bit longer while we wait for him to catch. But XL, the new driver, new kid on the block, he'll be figuring out just how to get about getting by these GT4 cars. XL's got company too, so Feckles is going to feel a little bit ran through after this one. XL, Burks, DJ, Velvos, all in close proximity. And he's got Scozzy not too far behind him, Banana, and then Snorksel. Probably all going to happen within the same lap. You can just hear that hum of the GR Supra there on the main straight. And this might be ideal once again for Feckles, so it might not be made too difficult here for these drivers. So XL there going by. Feckles blocking the shot. Burks and DJ next to get it done. We've got blue flags waving now. They aren't regulatory. So I'll just explain the difference in a second. But we do have regulatory and advisory flags, which that's what the blues are. And DJ Tick there playing a part. I say lap traffic, that's class traffic playing a part. And DJ getting it done on Verk. So DJ Master there, Darren McSweeney up into P4 for the Master. I wonder if I can catch that on or not. Maybe I'll choose not to. We'll see whether he likes it or not after the race. So it'll be Velvos. He's managed to find his way through on the GT4. Scozzy there going around the outside of the bowl. That's always the awkward one. So that's the pass that Tank had to make last lap as well. And he's through as well. We're going to start seeing these guys pick through the other GT4s now. So Sharky's managed to do so. And he's actually in and amongst Sharky, Tank. He's got Wiz and Bob either side of him. Sharky's managed to open a gap there. So that's 2.3 seconds now. These guys have managed to open. So Tank not getting the best call here on traffic. This is awkward. This is real awkward. And look at that gap open, 2.6 now. Very awkward for Tanks. Just not a lot you can do with these times. It's really luck of the draw as to when you're catching your traffic. Because Sharky here completely out of tow in the Jag. And Tank, he'll be pretty unhappy with that, but there's not a whole lot you can do realistically. It's just one of those things. So XL next to come through these guys, and you look at it on the main straight at the moment, just about every car in the field is on the main straight as we're flicking towards them. Pretty much one camera shot. This will be the first one. And even then, it's just a dolly shot round as Banana Cake Pie now sweeps past. I think it's Feckles left of screen. It is. So Feckles just about passed by each GT3 car now. We'll go to Sharky once again as he's coming up on the GT4 leaders, and that's always a bit of an interesting one because the GT4 leaders are usually tucked into their own battle. So if we go to Tolly's not too bad, he's on his own, minding his own business, so that'll be all right. Let's have a look at Water Arrow now, who has managed to open up 1.4 on Brits. So that gap now not as close between GT4 first and second. And you can see Sharky there sweeping around the outside, getting it done on Tolly. So Sharky here's got to navigate the leaders quite carefully, of course. Himself being a leader, he can't waste too much time. But he also can't ruin the races of these GT4 guys. And the onus is on the GT3 cars to pass safely. So you can't just bomb it down the inside and expect the GT4 car to dive out of your way. It's not how it works. You must let the GT4 car dictate the line. As we see there, we've got Sharky running wide in through Sector 3. So that's actually probably allowed Tank to get a little bit more of an edge there on Sharky, as Tank here is going to get a pretty easy pass on Tolly down the main straight. Realistically, Sharky as well should get a pretty easy one on Brits at the very least. So that Genesis there being caught in a straight line by the Jag, and Sharky making every use of the slipstream of that big Genesis as well. The McLaren probably a little bit less of a target than what the Genesis is. See if we can get him just before turn 3 here. I'm going to flip-flop between calling it turn 2 and turn 3. And I'm always a little bit caught on that one, but he's going to get him quite easily. And so that for Sharky is one lap done entirely on the traffic management part. Tank's still got both of the leaders to go. That gap's opened up once again for Adam Elzane. So that's 3.4 now for him. And he's stuck in the dirty air of Brits now. So this has been quite a poor set of GT4 cars for Tank. He's really dropped some time now on the leader. And a lot of the time, I've got to say it, and I will touch base again on our blue flag situation, but it's not really the fault of the GT3 driver. It's not really the fault of anyone, mind you. It's just luck of the draw as to where you're going to catch these cars. You can't really slow yourself up because that stopwatch is going to show the time loss no matter what. But Tank just pulling the unlucky rabbit out of the hat there. Caught behind Water Arrow here in the chicane as well. That time opening up constantly. And Tank finally there, clear of GT4. OzXL here, still 7.4 behind Tank. So there's not a whole lot he can benefit from unless these two, Sharky and Tank, really get collected up in some sort of shenanigans with either each other or a GT4 car. But XL's got enough to focus on in his rear view anyway, as he jumps on the brakes into the final corner, right up behind Tolly, and not leaving a lot of room there for Tolly, but does sneak up the inside. I almost wonder if there was a bit of contact there. DJ Master next to navigate Tolly. He'll get it on the straight, and Verks surely following him through as well. He's only half a second behind DJ Master after that move the other lap from him. These guys, of course, all have to go through your top 2 GT4 cars still. So Water Arrow and Brits, your current top 2. That'll be the turn of Velvos to go through those guys. And that Rover livery, actually, I didn't shout it out before. I will now. That is an absolute stunner. So I'm not sure whether they've just grabbed that from online or whether that's a pre-made one or whatever it may be. That is a very, very pretty livery there. Very good looking indeed. You can see that bank up. Brit's actually running almost defensive there into the left-hand hairpin. I won't say that was defensive as... Do we have someone around it though? Is that someone backwards? I thought for a second that may have been Feckles backwards at turn 1. Just have a look at the time here. No, it definitely wasn't. My eyes are playing tricks on me. I thought I saw... Yeah. Everyone, I think I'm crazy now. Oh, that change position. That's Velvos. Oh, Velvos through an XL there. Oh, XL's gone around. So XL, the debutant, has dropped a bunch of positions. And he is right to the back. So XL, I say right to the back of this this GT3 train. We'll have to try and go back and see what happened there for XL, because we suddenly saw a bunch of change there. 3rd, 4th and 5th all piling past him in GT3, and what was such hard work up to that point all seems to be undone. We'll see what happened. These guys were doing all right heading in here. XL through on Water Arrow. Oh, it's all on his own. Oh, he's just gotten loose. Oh, that is a massive shame for XL there, all on his own. Maybe just put offline there by the McLaren of Water Arrow, as we're trying to go back to live pictures, and we do manage so. And XL there, yeah, getting a little bit scruffy there on his corners, so he's just going to have to regather himself. We talk about this a lot, especially when it comes to the multi-class racing, is that regathering yourself and just getting back on the horse is the most important thing you can do in this class of racing. There are so many times you've got to be paying close attention to lap traffic, close attention to class traffic, and all different sorts of obstacles that you can't really afford those long lapses of concentration. You just got to get back on the horse, got to get back to it. Something actually that Sharky's quite good at. Sharky, of course, has had some big setbacks so far this season, and I feel like over the course of the season he's probably bounced back a little bit better for each one than he did the last. I believe it was Red Bull Ring he had quite the issues, some start line infringements and then some issues in Sector 2 being spun around, and each time he was just able to bounce back from those and put in a solid performance. And I just feel like each speed bump that Sharky's hit so far this season, he's just been increasing his tolerances, going, you know what, that sucked, but I'll go a little bit bigger for this next one. You know, the next time I hit a roadblock, I will smash through it. And at the moment, showing that he is very resilient at the wheel of the Jag. 3.9 seconds ahead of Tank so far. Lap 15 now, just starting here at the Fuji Speedway. Of course, a iconic Japanese track sitting at the foot of Mount Fuji, and Sharky's still got a lot of pace in that Jag. So purple Sector 1 there for him. I'm not sure that'll last. It is, of course, Tank who currently holds your fastest lap of the race. These tyres certainly starting to go on all of these cars. I think there was another change of position there. Is Verks and DJ side by side. God, we grabbed them at a good point there, didn't we? It must have been on exit of turn 1. These two getting into it. So DJ defending from Verks, who's really giving it to DJ at the moment. But it's inviting Velvos into the party here. So Velvos, who's still recovering from that incident very early on from Snorksel, or with Snorksel, I should say. And he's right up to the back of these guys now. So Snorksel, I don't know why I said Snorksel, I guess I'll just say hello to him, who's certainly listening still. But Velvos catching into the back of these guys, and I guess sort of replacing the role that XL was playing in this little group. So maintaining 3 to the party for these guys. And we'll see, this will be interesting actually, because it's the first time that we've seen the Ferrari in the tow of 2 Porsches. So I'm not sure who's got the benefit in the top end. It looks like the step from the Porsches there is a lot stronger than what you see from the Ferrari, so a little bit more grunt in the low end. Now, it'll be interesting. Double toe for the Ferrari. He is just getting wisps of it. I think the main focus is going to be this 2.5 tenths gap DJ to Verks. He's actually going to have his mirrors full of Monster Energy now, so DJ focusing on Verks, who's certainly starting to give him some dramas. And DJ doesn't fall for the trap. Didn't run defensive there, importantly. Did very well there, just to hold his nerve, holding P3 for the moment. And Verks in behind, trying to break him, trying to bring in a crack. Just any sort of lapsing concentration he can provoke on DJ. The earlier the better. If he can get something going right away, he can really get into someone's head. We're not even a third of the way into the race yet, but this is a really good way just to settle in and grab someone's attention and go, you know what, I'm going to be a thorn in your side for the next 48 laps. There's no better way really to stick it to someone, just to have that real intimidation factor nice and early. So Velvos starting to do the same thing to the back of Verks, and he'll be hurrying Verks along surely, wanting to get the move done on DJ, and eventually he's going to get impatient on Verks as well. So these three at the moment, a little bit of a ticking time bomb, I dare say. None of them so far have had a instant free race. They've all got a few scrapes on the cars already. And I think we may see a few more before the checkered falls at the end of the 54th lap. As you see there, a hotel at the foothills of Mount Fuji. It's gorgeous in the background. I'll tell you, if you haven't been to Mount Fuji, if you haven't been to Fuji Speedway before, I can tell you it is absolutely a bucket list venue. Must go. I will certainly be making my way there sooner rather than later, I hope. It's on the list. I think there'll be a boys' weekend or something of the sort. That's a must-go-to for me. Go back one, checking in with Scobby. There's many different ways, I feel, to pronounce this man's PSN. I think this one's quite obvious. It's clearly Scobby1. You can't excuse that. I'm confident. But I've also heard Scobby, as in like SC, as in X, which might make sense considering I believe his first name starts with an X. But I've also seen Scozzy. And I'm starting to get really confused as to what I'm supposed to call this man. I think I just call him Scozzy most times. And that really confuses Trev, because he doesn't realise there's a Scozzy in the race. And then we all get confused. Although, to be honest, I'm not sure I've ever done a race with Trev, and we've not sat there for at least a few minutes and thought things were confusing. But that's alright, that's the allure. That is the fun of sim racing commentary. I can tell you it is a lot of fun. Jumping on him for these Monday nights and having a call for Race on Oz. This one in particular, of course, Imitation Games. Again, if you're new to the series, to the category, Race on Oz, Australia's oldest and longest running Gran Turismo Sim Racing League, current home of the Motorsport Australia Gran Turismo Championship Series as well. So the only Gran Turismo series in Australian history to have championship status, meaning our winner at the end of the season actually goes to the Motorsport Australia National Awards Gala in 2027. So that'll be an awesome achievement for those guys. Your current points leader, actually, Andrew Lee, the multi-time Gran Turismo World Finalist, Tasmanian-based, is that man, multi-world record holder. And I could go on a while about his accolades, but he's not here tonight, so take a little bit of the shine off him. But of course, Race on Oz, Imitation Games, first mentioned, imitating real motorsport from the weekend before. And this one, of course, the Fuji 24-hour run and done over the weekend. And the, still don't know how to pronounce it, the Super Takyu series, I believe it is. And some great liveries, great drivers, and great racing taking place over the weekend. My personal favourite inclusion, actually, the Spoon Sports Civic, the FL5s, and the newer style Civic Type R. And Spoon Sports tend to have their way with one, and you know, really dress it up for the race. And I think he got 4th in class, actually. So shout out to Spoon Sports, those guys. I'm sure we wouldn't have anyone from them watching the live stream tonight, but yep.